And good morning, Hoosier Nation, and welcome to another victorious edition of Hoosier Morning After. This is Hoosier Morning After Minnesota. Yesterday afternoon, your Indiana Hoosiers go on to defeat the Minnesota Gophers 73-60, improving the Hoosiers to 12-3 on the season, 3-2 in conference play. Pretty good game overall. A game where Minnesota came out of the gate with a clear plan of shutting down Trayce Jackson-Davis, something we have seen teams try to do, but I believe this is the game where we've seen it the most focused. Being the main game plan of the opposing team was definitely to try to shut down Trayce Jackson-Davis, and the way they did that is that one of the guards, you could tell, was earmarked to whenever Trayce touched the ball, you go double right away. Ignore your man. We're going to take the chances on IU's 3-point shooting, and that's what their game plan was. They didn't shy away from it much. They shied away from it a little bit in the second half, but overall, Indiana, I think, did a great job with that, staying really disciplined with it. You can buy into that too much as a team, start shooting every single shot that they get, and that can play into the percentages and everything. And luckily, IU was mindful of that. They go 7 for 15 for 46.7% in the first half from three. Great shooting done. Most of that, obviously, even comes from our two guards, Xavier Johnson and Rob Fennessy. They both each take. Rob took 8 in the first half, being 4 for 8, 50% in the first half. And Xavier Johnson took 4, being 2 for 4, 50%. 50% from three from your point guards. That's fantastic, guys. I will take that any day of the week. Didn't hit one in the second half from them. Game plan obviously changed around a little bit from the first half to the second half. You can kind of see that if you just kind of look at our guards to post players from the first to second half. 10 points from Johnson in the first half, 12 for Fennessy in the first half, just 4 points for Trayce Jackson-Davis in the first half, and just 2 points for Race Thompson in the first half. Then look at the second half. Xavier Johnson has 4 points. Rob Fennessy just has 1 point. Then Trayce Jackson-Davis has 9 points, and Race Thompson has 8. So we obviously flipped the script a little bit between the two halves on that, figured out how to play against them and the kind of guarding they were giving, the shots that they were giving off to different players and everything. And obviously the biggest storyline to talk about in this game is Rob Fennessy getting his confidence back. Rob playing within the game that he had, feeling confident to take the shots that he could, being a great distributor. Just great to have a game like this for him going into just being at the start of the Big Ten season. We knew this was the biggest storyline going into this year, was getting Rob's confidence back. Again, that was one of the first things you heard out of Coach Fife's mouth in his press conference was when asked about the team, is that he knew from personal experience on Michigan State, whenever they had to play IU, what a difference maker Rob is on the defensive end, and when he can give you just the right amount of leadership and everything in the point guard position. So great to see him build on little bit of performances here and there and become a major storyline in this game. Had 4 assists, had the highest plus minus. You know me, I love plus minus with 22. Highest by far. The next closest was actually Trey with 20. And then anyone close to that is Trayce with 12. So those two guys obviously making a big impression on this game. Rob especially. 2 steals from Rob. Rob did one of my favorite things that Rob has done in the past with those steals. One of his steals was on a dig down when I don't know if it was I don't remember which player it was, if it was Race or Trace's guy, but had him walled up on the baseline pretty well. Guy trying to back down, not paying attention, and Rob's just very good at that dig down. I love seeing it when he does those plays, trying to dig down and get the ball away from the big guys that are trying to post up. So yeah, got that great steal from him. Played for 29 minutes, good amount of minutes for him. Just wish the shooting would have gotten a little bit better in the second half, but that's being nitpicky and everything. Robert Johnson, Xavier Johnson, wrong Johnson. Also, again, had a great game, playing within himself. Something that I really liked to see about X was his growth emotionally, because he is, again, that firecracker. He is that bonfire, and you don't want it to be out of control. You don't want that bonfire to burn down a building or get out of control, but you want it to be lit enough that it keeps you warm. And that's kind of a delicate balance you have to deal with a passionate, emotional player like Xavier Johnson is. And in the second half, he was put on the bench at the 15 mark after getting 2 quick fouls. The game was kind of lagging for him from that point. He had recently had a turnover, missed jumper, and a missed 3-pointer. Really don't think it was a foul, a kind of tic-tacky foul on him. I believe it was even away from the ball, if I remember correctly. And you could see, you saw a shot on the coverage of X, and he was not happy with that call. He was frustrated with that call, and that could be bad. That could mean the fire's a little bit too high, and here we go. He's going to try to force something or do something he shouldn't. But that proved to be just the right amount of fire to get him going, because he takes it down after that, and on a dribble drive, gets to the basket, makes a layup, and gets fouled, gets an and one situation. Not a big kind of momentum swing in that game. We were already kind of starting to build at that point in the game, but a good earmark moment as far as growth for him emotionally and everything like that. Good to see him turn that motivation into the right amount of motivation and get it going on the other end of the court. Liked seeing that so much. Trace Jackson Davis, I thought, had a great game. Played within his game, like I said already. He really had 2 different halves as far as knowing what he needed to do within the game. First half, saw the doubles, saw that situation, did a great job of passing out of it, getting the ball where it needed to be in the game for that. Ended with 2 assists. So figured it'd be a lot more passing out like that, but had a great mentality with that. Then the second half, went and got his. Saw his openings. We called a little bit more plays for him. My one criticism will come back for him would be something that was an issue in the Penn State game. Coach Adranya, if you're part of the Assembly Call community, the film room, definitely check it out if you're not, because he does some great work there. He has pointed out before, and it was a little bit of a problem in this one, where Trace can run ball screens a little wrong. He doesn't quite hedge enough if he needs to slow down the guys. Which causes the guy he's helping hedge for to not be able to recover. He needs to kind of hedge a little bit higher and stop that driver from getting around the corner of that screen and getting downhill. I think that was one of the main factors in the start of the second half that kind of caused the game to get away from IU in the second half. Minnesota was able to get downhill, get a lot more points at the basket. The defense lacked at that point. And I point to some of the ball screen action there with Trace Jackson Davis as being part of the fault of that. Now, the flip side to that, a guy that got in there and he only played 3 minutes in this whole entire game, didn't score a single basket, but took down 3 rebounds in 9 minutes. A special MVP shout out to Jordan Geronimo. At the 10-minute mark, around the 10-11-minute mark, Jordan taps the ball back on a missed long rebound 3 from Galloway to Miller Kopp, who hit the 3-pointer and put IU up by 2, 51-49, and then IU would not trail the rest of that game. That was a very big momentum shift in the game. That was a big momentum mover and everything. And it's those type of hustle plays that Jordan does as well. It's that both of our guys that play the 4 aren't going to be the big stat leaders or anything like that, but they put in the work. Race and Jordan put in the work. They're 2 physical guys, and they do what they need to do. Race as well had a good game. Just like I said, didn't get going until the second half. Would have liked to see the coaches go to him a little bit more earlier in the game. I really think that he had a lot of the mismatches. He struggled a little bit playing on against Minnesota's best player in Battle. Battle was very good off the dribble. Was a little bit faster than Race and everything. But Race had the size on him. And I would have liked to, they started to in the second half towards the end of the game, go to him a little bit more on the block. But I would have liked to see that earlier in the game. I think you could have done that when you saw all those doubles coming to Trace in the first half. He could have cleared out for him and dove to the basket, or let Trace Jackson clear to one side and give it to Race and let him go at Battle. Could have gotten Battle into some foul trouble, which could have helped, obviously, because Battle was their best player out there. So would have one criticism for the coaches who would have liked to see us go to that earlier. I was kind of watching the game and saw that early on. Try to play Captain Hindsight on it right there. Nice armchair coaching by myself on that. Looking at other stats, it's great to see 6 turnovers, only 6 turnovers from the team, 2 in the first half. And the other 4 that IU got all happened in those first 10 minutes of the second half, when we kind of had that bad spell. We dwindled away that lead that we had in half, that 10-point lead. Very reminiscent, obviously, of a few games that we've had where we've had a lead, the Wisconsin game, and dwindled it away. But great to see that the guys bounced back and took over the game again. Again, it's the defense ratcheted down. It was the defense lacking coming out of half, and then finally getting it going again was what put the game ahead for IU, put IU ahead in the game. 17 assists. That's fantastic as well. It's great to see the guys sharing the ball, moving around. That assist to turnover ratio, 6 to 17. That's fantastic. That's good looking stuff there. But I love what we saw from the guys yesterday. Good team mentality. Just overall balanced scoring throughout. Had some great, again, lots of guys in double figures. Johnson with 14, Jackson Davis with 13, Race with 10, Stewart with 12, Fennessy with 13. Just good ball sharing, good ball movement, good taking what the other team is giving you and running with it. Something in the past 2 games that I harked on, improved on as well. 6 for 11 on layups. In the past couple games, we've been a little lackluster in taking care of those. Got to hit the easy ones. Points per possession, 1.2. Again, kept them pretty low as well. Let me see their points per possession. Yep, under 1 again, 0.923. So the defense is what we hang our hat on, guys. This is what this team is good at. This is what's going to win games. And it's going to be very interesting when this team runs into high impact and powerful offensive teams like a Purdue. Purdue has struggled when they can't score over 70. They tend to lose. A lot of their losses have come when they can't get over 70 points. we're going to see that with a lot of the teams in the Big Ten that are towards the top. That's what happened with Ohio State. We were able to limit Ohio State, and that allowed us to get the win as well. So tough-nosed defense. It's weird to see as a Hoosier team. Obviously, we loved it with Bob Knight, but of recent fandom, we're used to the high energy, high scoring offense that Crean got us used to for a while there. And so to see that lack and then to see the defense carry a team is something to get used to as fans. And I'm excited for it, guys. This team can do some good things, and we will continue to. Not too much more to obviously to be able to talk about in this game. We go on the road for 2 games. The next game is Thursday, the 13th at 9 p.m. Very late game against Iowa. A game that we need to start taking care of. We need to start getting some road wins. And I think they can do that. We can take care of things pretty well. After that game, we have, pardon with me while I get to my notes. Nebraska on the road. Always a little tough in their environment, but we should be able to handle that. And then we come home and play Purdue, one of the big ones. So excited for this team, excited for what is happening so far, what's to come and everything. Like the well-balanced situation. We've gotten to see everyone kind of get in there and get warm and going. I think the only kind of thing left on the punch list as far as getting going, and they tried to in this game, is getting Tamar Bates going again. And we need to get him in. We need to get his confidence. We're getting Rob, so let's still concentrate on Rob's confidence and keep him going, keep him building from here. But let's look at Tamar now. Let's get Tamar going. Let's get his energy going. Run some plays when he gets in there. Just needs to get things going for himself. Needs to see it go through the hoop. We ran a play or two for him in this game, and it was just 3-point line shots. And he needs to get an easy layup. We need to get a play to the basket, something within his wheelhouse. I think he's a domino type of guy. He's a snowball kind of guy. He's a guy that gets downhill with ease, like we see Galloway, and one that is able to score, I believe, at a higher click than Galloway is able to. So if we can just mix a little bit of those two together, it's a fantastic player moving forward. So very excited for that. Scott, you're right. Yes, there's going to be times where we need Tamar Bates's offense on this team. So I think that'll do it, guys, for this episode of Hoosier Morning After. Thanks for watching, guys. Remember to like and subscribe to this video on YouTube. Got the URL up now, so now you can find it easily. YouTube.com/Hoosier Morning After. Easy to find. Thanks to those that are listening on the podcast. Follow me on Twitter @General Chadwick. There you can find out information about the show when I'm going to go live, and you can ask questions. And be like Scott. Join us in the live chat and everything. We'll talk about things as we go along. Special thanks as always to Bob Thompson, who produced the music you hear on the show. We'll be back again the morning after the next game. Until then, guys, go out there, have a wonderful day, and as always, go Hoosiers, guys.